Alright everybody, so people are and have been doing ranking videos for the alternate suits within the last 3 Spider-Man games. So I thought to do a series of videos where I did that. I may do an omnibus version where after all the eventual DLC and whatever else suits for Spider-Man 2 come out, to just put them all together and everything to talk about everything, because Spider-Man 2 is going to get some DLC suits. But it's safe to say that the first game in Miles Morales are not going to get any more suits. So I thought it was a good time to do a video on my thoughts on all of these suits. So, yeah, I had to change the time of day, so I had to go into one of the research stations to do that. So, yeah. So, we're going to start at the top, work our way to the bottom. So, the advanced suit. For the most part, I don't mind it. It mainly has to do with this being the version of it that we see. I hate that this game's capped at 30 in the photo mode, but whatever. But basically, when it comes to this version of the suit, I don't mind it. Oh my god, under certain lighting conditions it is orange. But anyways, basically, when it comes to it, yeah, I don't mind it that much. I think that the only problem with it is the fact that, when it comes to, this version of the suit, I just think that most of the colors are not great. The blue I think is fine. I think that it could be maybe a darker shade of blue, but otherwise it's fine for what it is. The red could be more red, and they did luckily darken it a bit in the remaster of the game, which I'm thankful for. But it's still not as red as it could or should be, and I really don't understand why that is. It's the same in Spider-Man 2 as well, because they basically just ported over the model. But yeah, and in regards to the white spider emblem on the front of the suit, I think it's okay, but I think the main problem for me is the fact that there are the blue lines on the suit. I really don't understand why a lot of modern, like, late 2010s, early 2020s Spider-Man suits seem to think that they need to really segment parts of the suit. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I think that the designers who come up with this shit think that it makes sense, but it doesn't really, and it doesn't look good. And I think I kind of understand why the ones on his shoulders are there, because in regards to the white spider emblem, it's where 2 of the legs stop and everything. But when you get down to his midsection, the shit continues with, for one, the red on his torso being segmented from the belt. I think to make it look like just the fact that it is a belt rather than a, like, part of the red pattern and everything that goes around his midsection and everything. But then there's also these like pointing sections that kind of look like California, but anyways, just like horizontally flipped. I don't really like these at all in regards to these being in addition to the suit. I don't really like them. Granted, I don't think that they're necessarily a deal breaker. Like, I've done a couple of playthroughs of this game in this suit, and I don't think that they distracted me much. But I have to wonder why they're there, because they add really nothing aesthetically to the suit, in my opinion. His legs and feet. it looks more like they are either shoes or boots that were like sewn into the blue of the suit rather than being like different specific like boots or part of the red being sewn into the part of the leg part of it. I really just don't understand that at all. And then there's the whites on his arms and everything. I really don't understand having these either. I think they're a reference to Miles, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It just seems weird. And then his web shooters I think are actually pretty cool. I like how the web shooters look. I have first thought that they had basically taken that design from the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, but upon seeing it in the second game in Spider-Man 2, no, they seem to be based on a very similar thing, though. But yeah, I'm glad if that's where they got the inspiration from it. I'm glad that they did it. But yeah, and then there's the parts on his palms, which have the button to activate the web shooters. Granted, the web shooters in regards to how they operate don't make any sense when he's in just his civilian stuff, but it's actually pretty interesting. The web shooters themselves as well are fastened to, when he's in his civilian clothes, a couple of these wristbands that he has, like these magnetic wristbands that he wears and keeps them on and everything. For his Spider-Man suit, I assume there's something similar to that. But yeah, someone's probably going to comment Spider-Ass or some shit. But yeah, everything else I don't necessarily mind. I just don't like the segmenting of the red with the blue. The white spider symbol could be better, and everything. It looks like they just basically took what was there from the Venom suit or symbiote suits and everything. White spider emblem on the back I actually don't mind. It looks like it's mostly the same spider, but the legs on the top are flipped. It seems like that takes a bit of inspiration from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 suit, or Spider-Man 3 black suit, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was what that was. But yeah. But yeah, in regards to the material, I think the material looks fine for what it's made out of. But yeah. So, there we go. And then I guess these are going to be rolled into one, maybe. Classic suit damaged actually doesn't look too bad. And yeah, in the remaster they added more rips and tears and everything, whereas in the original PS4 version of the game, they didn't have a lot of them and everything. And yeah, so it basically has has some of the same things as the advanced suit, where it has these like seam lines and whatever, but you could imagine that those are just from sewing and probably having to repair this thing so much. You also have the same web shooters and everything, but it's basically just the damaged version of the classic suit, which, speaking of, we have the classic suit right here, which I think that this looks really good. And being a version of the classic suit specifically for this game, I think it looks really good, and it gets the job done really well. The blue and red I think is good. Which it just makes it all a little more baffling that they didn't keep the shades of red and blue the same for the advanced suit. I really don't understand what the art direction was with the advanced suit, considering the classic suit is pretty much the right colors. So, yeah, I do like this. It's basically just what you'd expect for a classic suit version of Spider-Man. Now, the Noir suit, basically, this game, if you have never played it, or you have never played certain other Spider-Man games, this game takes a lot of influence specifically from the better Spider-Man games that have been out in the last 20 years. And the ones I immediately think of are definitely the Beanox games, mainly Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, and The Amazing Spider-Man. And basically, this Noir suit is a pretty much 100% the same translation of the Noir suit as it was seen in Shattered Dimensions. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that they did a really good job redesigning the suit. They couldn't have the trench coat on the suit for Shattered Dimensions because of technological limits at the time. So they compromised and gave him a black vest, which I think was okay. I think that the rest of the suit works pretty well as well. I remember, who was it? Dorito God, I think it was, said he didn't really care for the gray pattern on the mask, and said that he thought that the gray pattern should be more black. But I don't think it necessarily is that bad, honestly. I think it looks fine with the suit and everything. The spider emblem on the belt, I never noticed that. I need to play in this suit more. But everything else I think is a pretty much good translation of what Beanox had for Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. There's also the gun in the holster, which I don't believe Spider-Man usually uses a gun, which is probably why they gave one to Noir, but that's good to have there. But yeah, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that they didn't just give, or slightly redesign this, give him or just have the sweater underneath the vest and give him the trench coat and the top hat for, or the fedora in Spider-Man 2, and just decided to go with the Into the Spider-Verse version. But I honestly think that this is really good, even though it's not completely comic accurate, you know. Scarlet Spider suit. I won't lie, this is such a good suit. I love it so much. It is a really good translation of what the comics did with Ben Reilly in regards to his suit and everything. The only thing that throws me a little bit are the weird, like, other textures and lines and everything on the suit. I think that they made the red out of spandex, or they tried to make it look like it's made out of spandex, which I can understand. It's just, I don't know. It seems like it should be just a red, like just a onesie, like a red onesie and everything. The mask, though, I think translated very well. I love the web canisters, or whatever, the mini web fluid canisters, I guess, on his wrist, and the belt also has them. There are even empty ones where I guess he's taken them out and put them on his wrists. But yeah, the only thing I don't really care for, and I don't understand why they made it like this, are, look at his shoes, or his feet. They added like a toe seam for some reason to separate, I think, his big toe from his smaller toes or something like that. Why? That's such an unnecessary, like, addition or change, and I don't know why that is. But yeah. And just in regards to a lot of this, I really do like the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider suit and everything, and it really did get a good translation into this game. There's a reason why I came back in, or why it's been in so many Spider-Man games, and why I came back for Spider-Man 2 as a suit for Peter. So, yeah. Spider Armor Mark II, aka I think it's the Bullet Time suit. I gotta be honest, I don't really care for most of the armors in this game that were chosen, and this is one of them, if you can even really call it an armor. I don't know, I just don't really care for some of the design choices, and I know it's a translation of what they did in the comics, but I really don't care for it. Cowl's fine. The mask looks like a helmet, which it probably is. I don't like how the eyes are for it. They just look really weird to me. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for it that much. The black and gold's a nice aesthetic. I don't know. It just might be this game's version of it, but I don't really care for it. Secret War, I actually don't mind this, and I actually think that, for the most part, it's actually a decent design. the where it appears in the comics makes no sense, but yeah, and the reason for that is, from what I understand, the Avengers and Spider-Man were supposed to, or the ones that went on a secret mission for Nick Fury, had to use leftover shield tech that he had to design new versions of their suits to make themselves look like they weren't the heroes that they are. But this still looks like a Spider-Man suit. I don't understand what the thought pattern was here. And pretty much none of the heroes actually met the qualification of don't look like your normal suit, or look like you're the normal hero you are, or whatever. I don't know. But I actually like this version of it. It's basically just a translation of the classic suit, just recolored black with the red web patterns and everything, with the blue on his midsection and everything. Really don't understand why they have to have all the lines everywhere. That makes it look like the next suit we're gonna look at a bit, but you know, I actually kind of do like this design. It's pretty good. So yeah, Stark suit. I love this suit a lot. I liked it in Captain America: Civil War, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man, Avengers: Infinity War. When it briefly appeared in Far From Home and everything, I really do like this. It is a good translation, in my opinion, of the classic suit into the MCU and given a modern flavor and everything. I do like it. The only thing, though, that I know Dorito God actually pointed out in his video where he was talking about the Spider-Man suits in Avengers versus this game is the blue. The blue in this is based on the blue from Homecoming rather than Captain America: Civil War, and the blue on the suit in Captain America: Civil War was darker to make the black lines that appear on this to make them less obvious and everything. And here's the thing. At the very least, I can understand why the black lines are here. Within Homecoming, it's shown that when Peter puts on the suit and takes it off, he presses the spider emblem on his chest, and the suit form-fits to his physique, and then when he presses it again, it loosens and comes off. So it's literally just a skin-tight, spandex-type suit that is made to be one size fits all, which I think makes sense when it comes to Tony Stark, because he didn't have Spider-Man's exact measurements, thus he wouldn't be able to make a suit that would 100% fit him without some adjustments. So, yeah. And I'm assuming it's the same with this version of the suit here, because here's the thing. This Spider-Man's physique and height are way bigger than Tom Holland is. This Spider-Man, I think is like 6 feet tall, and you can tell he's more muscular than Tom Holland's version. So yeah, whereas like Tom Holland's like probably average height of like maybe 5'8" or so, and he's a lot more scrawny and skinny compared to this game's Spider-Man. But yeah, so yeah, I think with a darker shade of blue and maybe a slightly darker shade of red, this suit would be a great translation of the suit from Captain America: Civil War. And I'm kind of surprised that in Spider-Man 2 they didn't add a suit style for this where that is the case. But yeah. And here's the thing with people who say that they don't like this suit because of the black lines and everything all over it. I think that the black lines are fine, at the very least the ones on his torso and arms. I think that they're fine. I think that they're actually pretty good. And I think that they add something to it that I honestly like. I do like the spider symbol on it. It does look like, honestly, a Tony Stark version of it. But it makes sense because in the MCU, Tony designed this suit, so that would make sense. And the back spider emblem, I think, is fine. So yeah, and all the textures and everything, I think, are good for this suit. But yeah, and I think that it is honestly really good. So yeah, I just don't really have much else to say. The web shooters, honestly, I do like them in this as well. You can see that they're two separate parts. That's because in-universe, and this is shown in Spider-Man Homecoming and No Way Home, I believe. They are a separate thing that Peter can take on and off, and he also puts it on. Actually, I think he also does this in Far From Home, where he has them on his wrists so he can use them in civilian form, and I think he also uses them when he has the stealth suit on. So, yeah. But there's not much else to say. I really do like this suit. So, yeah. The negative suit, which this is a negative version of the advanced suit. This I actually do like as a recolor of the advanced suit within this game. And I do have a lot of the same criticisms, like some of the over-designed nature of it and everything. But I think the colors work better here. I think that a lot of the design is still pretty decent and everything. The only thing, though, is now that you have two contrasting bits of black on his arms, the parts that look like armor or whatever they are on his hands and arms just look weird, considering the lines are changed to like a white, or maybe like a bluish gray, whatever it is. But yeah, the only thing I will criticize this suit for, though, is within the story of the game, they easily have a place where they could have put it that would have unlocked it automatically within the story, and that would have been after, I think, the first or second place where Mr. Negative tries to influence Peter and take over his mind. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not part of the story, but yeah. But yeah, it is here, and it is good. So yeah. The electrically insulated suit. I don't care for this whatsoever. I don't like it. I don't know what it is about it. I think it might be just the design overall. I don't know. I just don't... I don't really think I have much to say on it other than I don't like it. Weirdly enough, this kind of looks like a proto version of the Miles Morales 2020 suit from Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2. But yeah, I don't care for the suit. I think it also showed up in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game. But yeah, I don't really give a shit about it. Spider-Punk. I like this. I like this a lot. As someone who listens to a lot of like punk rock music and has observed a lot of like stuff within punk culture and everything, I think that this is a really good like translation of the Spider-Man classic suit into a more punk design. It's worn by Hobie Brown in the comics, and his actual name for his Spider-Man is Spider-Punk. He's also British and black, which is interesting. And I'm not sure what time period his comics are set in. I imagine the 70s, but I think that having that culture behind it is really good. And yeah, the best thing about this suit as well is if you wear it for long enough within the game, you get one of J. Jonah Jameson's podcasts where he complains about Spider-Man wearing it and the design and everything, and that's just funny. I do like that they added that. It allows you to basically just assume that all of the suits are, to some degree, really canon to this universe and everything. And I haven't actually observed the buttons that are on the jean vest before, but let's take a look at them really quick. So you have what looks like a painting of Spider-Man. You have a thing that looks like a paper clip, an anarchy symbol, lips, skull with a mohawk, a star, that kind of like smiley face and whatever the hell. Whatever that is. You have the UK flag, a spider, which is actually pretty cool. What looks like a record, spider web, whatever that green is supposed to be, and a version of the eyes on a red backdrop for representing the Spider-Man mask, which I think is actually really cool. But yeah, I think a lot of this is really good and works. You have the wrist cuffs that are really good. The spikes on the head are actually pretty good. I think, though, on this version, and I don't know if it's the same in the comics, it looks like they stop a little too short. You know, it looks like they should be going more down the back of his head. So I don't know. The jacket also is really good. I like the back with that spider symbol. And it looks like that stands for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's actually really cool. Spiked belt I actually really like. And I do like the regular, as they would say in the UK, trainers for the shoes with the Spider-Man symbols on the sides of them. That's actually really cool. And they're nice red and blue, or red and white to contrast the blue legs and midsection and parts of the arms on the main suit. So yeah, that's actually really cool. It is genuinely just looking like it's a Spider-Man suit translated through a sort of 70s British rock or British punk rock aesthetic, and that's actually really nice. So yeah. Wrestler suit. I don't like it. I don't absolutely hate it. I just don't like it. I know that this is a translation of a suit from, I think, the Ultimate Comics, where Peter became a wrestler, and basically took on sort of a luchador kind of aesthetic. I don't really care for this at all. And yeah, the sweater is nice. I don't mind that. It kind of is reminiscent of the Scarlet Spider, which I think that that's pretty nice. The mask I don't really care for. I know it's a luchador mask, but I don't know if it really fits. But yeah, and then the fact that he's just wearing, like, I'm assuming the wrestling pants. They kind of look like jeans, but I'm just assuming the wrestling pants, or maybe, what is the word? Where are those kind of pants? I can't remember for the life of me. It'll probably come to me. But yeah, and then the spider or the web shooters are just on his wrists. It looks like they go under the sleeves, which are fine. No idea why they kept his hands bare for this. On top of that, his hands look weird. I'm sure that they're the same hands as the regular, like, civilian Peter Parker model, but they look weird to me. They look like they're a size too big. They just look like they're, like, inflated to some extent. And it comes off like they are human hand gloves meant to, like, camouflage and mimic it. Kind of like the face cloaking tech in Captain America's Winter Soldier, but translated onto hands. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. And, I don't know. Maybe because they look too pale. I don't know. Looks like he has jaundice or some shit. I don't know. But yeah. Shoes are also whatever. They're just okay. Fear itself suit, I actually really like the aesthetics of this suit. Especially when,
reports of a civilian bus.
It's at night. Let me go to
nearby officers, please
this,
proceed to the Bryant area.
Station so I can change the, time of day. So you guys can properly see this. By the way, I didn't know you can do this until, like, a while ago. But, seeing some of these suits at night can also really, in my opinion, change my mind on some of these things. If the suit is meant to be seen in a certain light.
My friends,
or
the
aesthetic.
Rhino and the Scorpion are back behind bars. But only after wreaking unimaginable
we go up
havoc
to
in a
the top of
reckless
Oscorp,
rampage with
which
Spider-Man.
I don't know if you guys figured that out, but I was at the top of Oscorp for this.
But
This
we need
actually
to be ready
looks
if they
really, really fucking cool. I'll be completely honest. This just looks really cool, and I do like that they based it off of the eye intensity. But I do like that they base it off of the classic suit within the game. And, it's honestly just really good. I like when you just look at this when it's at night, and you can see how it glows. It looks really cool. Everything, especially with, like, the ray traced reflections that are in the remaster of this game. It just looks really cool. I'm sorry if J. Jonah Jameson's getting in the way of this. But, this is really cool. From what I understand as well in regards to the comic that's from, basically, this is when, or maybe comic line or whatever, this is Spider-Man powered up by something cosmic. I can't remember what exactly he was powered up by, but it, like, transformed his suit and everything. And I do like that they changed up the spider emblem, to make it probably more comic accurate. But this honestly just looks really cool, and I don't know, the gauntlets are nice, or kind of a weird addition, but I don't think that they clash with the design at all. I actually kind of like them. But the blue with the black and the neon blue that illuminates it, again, just look at this. This looks really cool at night or in darker lighting, and that brought it up for me when I thought about it that way. The stealth or big time suit. I have loved this suit ever since I played the Amazing Spider-Man 2012 game. This suit is really fucking cool, especially when you play as it at night. The faint, like, green neon for the pattern and everything on it, I think that it honestly looks really, really cool. Man, they really did not have a lot in regards to this photo mode, did they? But I honestly think it just looks really fucking good. And yeah, but I played through a good like chunk of the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man game with this suit on. I think on my first playthrough, and it was just so good. I loved it then, I love it now, I like this game's interpretation of it. I don't think that they overcomplicated the design at all. I'm very surprised that this didn't come back in Spider-Man 2, and had the variations from the comics, like the orange and whatever other lights replaced the green in some other issues with it, where the comics featured this suit. But I really do like this suit. It is very nice. Spider Armor Mark III, don't really like it. It looks like battle armor, which I can understand if that was what the intent was in the original comics. However, the reason why I don't like it is because a lot of the armors in this game that are not, like, more form-fitting, which is most of them, they don't look very practical as Spider-Man suits. If he was to wear these, when, like, patrolling or whatever. I don't know, it just looks too heavy, and then it also just looks like, well, it is armor, so it does look like that. I don't know, it just looks like if Spider-Man went to war instead of, like, or if he was, like, having his, I don't know. Kind of also looks like Red Hood from Batman comics. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's designed in this game? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't really care for most of the armors in this game. The 2099 black suit. I don't like that name for it. I think it just should have been the 2099 suit. Now, the reason why they call it the black suit for 2099 is the fact that in the comics, Spider-Man 2099's suit is canonically black. It is a black color. The comics, however, gave the suit an overly blue color with the highlights on it. And the main problem with the way that this suit is translated into this game is that they gave it this, like, purplish blue color, or maybe it's bluish purple. Either way, they gave it this color. I don't like this look at all. It just looks very barren and everything. Now I'm looking at it, though, there are some other more reflective parts and everything, to make it stand out a little more. I liked this suit's redesign in the Beanox games, because it was in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man End of Time, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I liked what they did with it. They gave it a more techy look. I also think that the textures and everything for their games made the suit just look better. And everything. And then on top of that, they gave it a back spider logo. That I think looks like it's like a hologram or something. They gave it a back spider logo, which I think really does add to the back. And I understand that that's not comic accurate, but it works better as aesthetically for a video game, where you look at the character's back most of the time, outside of cutscenes. And yeah, I don't know. The Spider-Man 2 gave this suit a much better look when they added a suit variant that gave it an actual more black color that looks like a bluish black or blackish blue, and I think it helps a lot better. The black and red aesthetic just looks so much better than the this shade of blue and red to me. I don't know, especially when it's in direct sunlight. I don't think it looks that great. But yeah, which is a shame, because I think otherwise it's a good design. The Iron Spider suit from the MCU. I like this, and I was watching a video where the dude said he didn't really care for this suit because of how overused it is in the MCU, and I can understand that. It was in, I believe, that one of the final scenes from Homecoming. It was in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It was in a scene early on in Spider-Man Far From Home. Well, actually a couple scenes, if you add on the short that was integrated into later or a later re-release of the film, and then put on the home releases as a bonus feature for some reason, rather than being just slotted into the movie where it takes place. And then a scene later where Peter's at a presentation or whatever it is, or not a presentation, just whatever it is. And then it's in a scene in No Way Home when Peter goes to talk to the college admin lady that he needed to talk to, and he fights Doc Ock in this suit, which I think was actually a brilliant use of it, because the fact that this suit uses the tentacles and everything, or the arms, is really nice, and that made for a nice joke. But yeah, I just honestly do like this. I don't really care for the original design of the Iron Spider armor, which we will get to in a bit. I'll be completely honest. I think it's kind of plain, but seeing as this is an MCU version of the suit, it goes with the Stark suit in regards to design philosophy, where it's filtered through Tony Stark of the MCU, where he used nanotech and everything to design this, or to make this and design this and everything. I don't necessarily know if the colors are 100% accurate to the films. It does kind of look like the reds are a little too orange, but from what I understand, they had the CGI files, I think from Infinity War to work with, and so they used them, that Sony had and everything. So I guess this is supposed to be mostly accurate. Obviously they changed the build of this to fit this Spider-Man, but I honestly do like this. The fact that it has parts that light up too are really nice. Like the eyes, those little things on his torso, parts for the web shooters and everything. I think that this honestly does look really good, and obviously in different lighting it can look more red, which is nice. But yeah, I just like how this looks, and I do like how it looks in the movies too. So I think that they translated this pretty well. Like, I have heard that some of the colors are not, mainly like the blue, I think, is not as, or like whatever it is, it doesn't 100% match the movies, but it's just like, I don't know. Granted though, the picture for the suit makes it look like it's supposed to be more of a navy blue instead of like this grayish blue. So maybe something got screwed up there. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah. Velocity suit. It is canon to this universe. It is an original suit. I don't like it. I don't like its aesthetic whatsoever. It doesn't look good to me. I don't know. I just can't really... I don't really like it. It looks just... I don't know. I just don't like it. I can't really place my finger on it. I just don't like it as a design. It's just really dumb. You know? Spider Armor Mark IV. I really do like this. This is a really good, like, translation of pictures I've seen, or stills I've seen, or not stills, drawings I've seen from the comics. You have the glowing eyes, you have the glowing spider symbol, and everything. And honestly, I'm very surprised that this hasn't been introduced in the MCU yet, considering that, this looks like something Tony Stark would make. And I don't know if in the comics it is or not. This is from a comic run, I believe, where Peter starts his own company and everything, and basically becomes more like Iron Man, so he makes this suit, I think. So, yeah, but, it is a nice, like, mechanical version of the classic suit, in all honesty. And, I don't know, I just like how it looks. Nice, shiny, reflective material and everything. Before the all-new and red and blue suit from the end of No Way Home and everything. I just honestly think that this looks really good. And yeah, and I like the spider symbol on the front as well. The back as well, that looks nice. So yeah, I do like the green eyes. So yeah. Spirit Spider, it's whatever, I don't really care. This is Spider-Man from a comic run, I believe, where he was imbued with the powers of the Ghost Rider. And I don't really care. The spiders on it are actually nice. It kind of reminds me of Anti-Venom a little bit from Edge of Time. But yeah, the front and back spider emblems I do actually kind of like. The front spider is actually interesting. It looks like yeah, it's an upside down spider. But you have the Spider-Man mask eyes on it that make it look like it's a different mask. That looks like, I don't know, like a kind of like voodoo mask or a plague doctor mask or something like that. Or just something the occult would wear, which looks nice, which is a pretty cool design choice. The back spider, it's interesting, though it looks like a spider that got squashed. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the fact that he has a flaming human skull. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's literally just Peter's body transformed into, like, this white that goes into a shade of blue kind of thing. Oh, and he has real feet. I don't know how I feel about that. But, yeah, don't really have much else to say about it other than that. The Spider-Man 2099 white suit. I actually really like this one compared to the blues, or the 2099 blue suit. The 2099 white suit, I think, doesn't really have any problems when translated from the comic book pages to this game. I think that it is really good. I think the color scheme is really good. The emblems are great. Even has kind of, not really a back emblem, but it has something on the back to make it more visually appealing if you were to play as in this suit. And it has kind of a more or maybe not mechanical, but like kind of armory look. And I know I said I don't like most of the armors in this game, and that's true. But I think it works for this because it just, I don't know, it form fits better. But yeah, and it does fit 2099's aesthetic, which I do really like. Which I also want to say, I did find out that from another video that the 2099 suit is from a Halloween store, I believe, and Miguel had to, or maybe not a Halloween store, but something for like Dia de los Muertos, I believe. So that's why it has a skull on it and everything, and why it doesn't look too Spider-Man-y. But yeah, so it's basically future Dia de los Muertos. But the white suit I think doesn't have any of the problems that the black suit has, and I honestly really do like it. Vintage comic book suit. This is basically just a cel-shaded comic book variant of the classic suit in this game, and I don't really think that matters. This looks really cool. Granted, it sticks out like a sore thumb, but that's why it's really good. But yeah, basically it was made to make the suit emulate a comic book panel. It doesn't have the web shooters on it, which I think is fine, because usually I don't think they were drawn, at least back in the day. And there are more, like, okay, so the web pattern is basically the same as well. But, yeah, I do like this aesthetic, and I do think it does match the colors in the old comics very well. The only thing is they didn't change the spider emblems, which is whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I know for some more hardcore fans, like I think Channel Pup, it's not 100% great, but I think that it's honestly really good. The Last Stand suit. This is one of my favorite suits in the game, if not my absolute favorite. I love this thing. It looks so fucking cool. Like, I love this thing in regards to its aesthetic. This is from a comic where Peter gets old, or older, or like past middle age, I think. And so he redesigns the Spider-Man suit at some point to look like this. I love this so much. It has a biker aesthetic to it, but it still retains the classic feel of Spider-Man. And that is what I think some Spider-Man suits miss the trick on, is that they need to match the general aesthetic of Spider-Man, or the same general aesthetic rules. And I think that this suit does it perfectly. It is so fucking good. On top of that, it's gritty as fuck. It looks 90s as hell, or 80s or 90s as hell, and I love it just so much. I don't know when exactly the comic it's from came out, but this is so fucking good. I'm very genuinely surprised that this suit did not return in Spider-Man 2, considering that Miles' The End suit was transferred over, and that the Miles' The End suit is basically his take on the aesthetic for this suit, or this kind of thing for this suit. This suit is just so fucking good. I love it. The leather jacket is nice. Sorry. It's nice. The leather gloves are really cool, and the fact that they both match as well. I believe this version of Spider-Man also has the... I think that this version of the suit also has the web shooters under the sleeves of the jacket. Hold on. Oh. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, Huh. But, yeah. Okay, yeah, they are there. Just to show that off, you can see the, the web shooters that are on the gloves, and the gloves look like they go a bit onto his wrists, which, that's honestly really nice. That's a nice touch. I don't know if it's in the comics, or if it's a thing that they did for this version, this game's version of it, but I like it. The spider emblem looks nice, both on the front and the back. The mask, it looks kind of weird without the web lines on it, but I can understand why he didn't want them, or why he wouldn't have wanted them off, or on it, in regards to the suit. And it does kind of fit the suit's aesthetic. The only thing, though, is I think the shade of red is off. The shade of red, I think, should match the the jacket. It should be a more deep shade of red like the jacket is. But yeah, then you have the black jeans, which just look fucking metal. And then you have the black shoes. I love this so much. It has that 90s, 80s, 90s biker aesthetic that I love in regards to, like, that sort of, like, grungy kind of look. And, yeah, I just love this so much. I'm gonna stop gushing about it so I can move on. Undies suit is whatever. Like, this is a joke suit from a cutscene. Where, from a part of the game where Peter is, hopped up on the hallucinogenic drug that, Scorpion has in his tail that he injects him with. And, just as a 2-second joke, they have Peter after he cures himself of it, to stop hallucinating and everything, they have him appear as if he doesn't have his suit on, then he, I guess, puts it back on or recreates it or whatever he does, but yeah, it's like, wow, Peter, you have a fucking bulge. But anyways, I do find aspects of this suit funny, the fact that he's mostly just kind of naked. The boxers are a decent touch. Like, why would he have, like, Spider-Man boxers? Or, they're not even boxers, they're tighty-whities, but whatever. He has the wristbands with his web shooters on. He just has the regular Spider-Man mask from his advanced suit. I don't know. For a quick joke, it's fine. The fact that this is the suit you get from 100%ing the game, though, does make it a bit of a letdown. Yeah. At least I think that's what it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the 100% completion reward. The homemade suit from Spider-Man, or from the MCU, I do not like this suit whatsoever. I know some people do, because they like what it symbolizes, they like the stuff that, or the history that is hinted at with this suit. They also like that it pays homage to the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider suit, the very first Scarlet Spider suit. And I can see that just with inverted colors and everything. But the thing that makes Ben Reilly's suit work that doesn't make this suit work is that Ben Reilly's style is just a lot better. You have the sleeveless sweatshirt, which is fine, or which is good on Ben Reilly's. You have the big expressive eyes. Everything else is a jumpsuit, though. Or a, not jumps, or maybe, yeah, a jumpsuit. Or maybe just like a skin-tight onesie. And everything, plus it has extra things to make it more stylish, like the wrist gauntlets, and then the belt, and then the things on his legs, or on his ankles and everything. Ben Reilly's style is just so much better than this. This definitely looks like something a kid would come up with as, like, one of his first suits as a superhero. And it does look like something a kid like Peter could afford to buy in regards to the parts. Like, the blue looks like it's a long sleeve blue shirt and blue sweatpants. There we go. I was trying to think of that word when it came to the wrestling suit. Sweatpants. And that's not really that bad. But then you have the sleeveless hoodie, the sleeveless zip hoodie. Why not just have that be a sweatshirt? And then the mask is a red ski mask, which is whatever. But then you have the lenses, which I'm pretty sure in the MCU, he would have made those out of camera lenses, which is fine. I don't know, I think without, like, a web pattern, it's just kind of weird. Then there's the wrist gauntlets, which look like they have extra web cartridges in them, which is, it's both good and bad, I don't know. Then you have the gloves, which are fingerless, which I think is supposed to be a reference to Miles, but I could be wrong. Because one of the later suits in the MCU does reference Miles Morales more and better. When it comes to a Spider-Man suit, or really any superhero that maintains a secret identity, you should not have fingerless gloves. You shouldn't have fingerless gloves. You shouldn't have anything sticking out in regards to your skin. You really shouldn't have anything that leaves like fingerprints or DNA, or at least a lot of DNA behind. That's also a problem I have with the suit that Miles ends Spider-Man 2 in, which I'll get to when I talk about the suits from that game. For what it's worth, I kind of like the spider emblem on the front. It's okay, and it does look like he probably just painted that on. But, yeah, and then there's the sweatpants or whatever. And then there's what looks like he put socks, like long socks, over, like, shoes. And then, like, probably glued or something, like a black thing to the bottoms of the shoes, the soles of the shoes. Yeah, no, I understand what this suit was going for in the MCU. However, in my opinion, this suit looks like it was made for jokes. It looks like it was supposed to be a suit that you point and laugh at. It is also different from the one that they showed for 2 seconds in Spider-Man Civil War, which is whatever. It was a blurry photo. They obviously didn't have a thing for it, and they needed something quickly to splice into the movie in regards to introducing Spider-Man into the MCU, then getting him into the battle at the airport, then exiting to go off onto his own movie after the post-credit scene featuring him in Civil War. But yeah, this suit just looks like it's meant to be an old shame, or a very fursuit that gets made fun of later on when someone else sees it and makes fun of it, and then Peter would, like, I don't know, face palm or whatever at the at the embarrassment. Yeah, I just don't really like this suit at all. Like, I understand it does look practical, and it does look like a kid would make it, which is fine. The thing, though, is I don't know. Aesthetically, I don't like it. I like the human spider suit from Spider-Man 1 a lot better than this when it comes to a prototypical Spider-Man suit. Because what it actually does look like something a poor kid would make, a poor teenager would make, but on top of that, it's aesthetically pleasing. This, I don't really like at all. It's part of some of the problems that I have with MCU Spider-Man and his solo films is the fact that they focus more on comedy than straightforward, like, seriousness most of the time, outside of No Way Home, which they actually get very serious in that movie. But yeah, it seems like this suit was thought of to be a joke in universe, and some people take it at face value and like it. I don't know. I don't like it. But yeah, I think I've explained my thing on that. The ESU suit, this is literally just Peter in his Spider-Man mask from the classic suit, weirdly enough. Not the advanced suit, but the classic suit. In an Empire State University t-shirt and black jeans. I think the black jeans, okay, so they're not exactly the same kind of black jeans from the Last Stand suit. This is okay. It's whatever. It just looks like casual wear for Spider-Man, like if he were like mid either getting into his Spider-Man suit or getting out of it in between classes or something like that. I don't know. It's just whatever. Don't have really any problems with it. Not overly wowed by it either. Anti-Ox suit. I actually do like this suit for the most part. I think it's nice. I think that the black and gold aesthetic and everything about this works better than the regular advanced suit. I like the eyes a bit more. The eyes take some influence from the Spider-Man 3 black suit, which is nice. The Spider-Man pattern, or the spider emblem on the front that is supposed to be from the advanced suit, I think is a bit better. Because there's not really anything holding it back or anything that is supposed to be divided up, which is good. The thing about it is I also like it in universe for like the story stuff where it's made out of the same metal that the that Doc Ock's tentacles are made out of. I do like that. And I do like the black and gold aesthetic on this one. I think that it is basically what the Mark II suit was mostly going for. Translated a lot better. Yeah, I just like the aesthetic of this more. And I just like what it is for the story. So yeah, there's a reason why they brought it back for Spider-Man 2. The dark suit. The thing about this is the origins between the comics and this game differ. In the comics, Spider-Man gets this from Deadpool. In this game, he gets this from Black Cat. I think that, honestly, it makes more sense for him to get it from Black Cat rather than Deadpool, at the very least in this continuity. Because I don't read the comics, I don't really know. But, he has these cat-like claws on the end of it, which I think are also in the comic. And I think that it makes more sense for Black Cat to have put those on, because it's basically established through the side missions, where you find Black Cat's like little toy cats, and you hear little messages from her, little recorded messages from her to Peter that you know, you find all of them, then you get to her secret base where she has a stash of shit, and then she leaves Peter this suit to have. And that's how you unlock it within the game. I think that it works much better under that context, but granted, again, haven't read the comics, so I don't know if the original context is better or the same or worse. So, yeah, maybe comics readers can tell me in the comments. But, yeah, so we basically just have this. It also kind of looks like it's a Black Widow version of Spider-Man's suit, which is interesting because there was a comic thing where Black Widow and Spider-Man were fused into the same hero, I believe. But yeah, for a bit from an alternate universe. So yeah, or maybe not fused, but they were basically melded into the same hero. I think still was Natasha Romanoff, but she was like half Spider-Man, half Black Widow. So yeah. But yeah, and then we look at the palms of the hand, and they have this nice, like, kind of hourglass Spider-Man symbol. There are black versions of his web shooters from the advanced suit and classic suit on the wrists, which are interesting and nice, and it kind of makes sense that Felicia would make this suit for him under that context, because, it would make sense if she got a hold of his, like, his blueprints for his tech and everything, and the specs and everything, and would make those, depending on how recent their relationship is and how, I don't know, how long he was using them. But, yeah. But, yeah, I do like this for the most part. The black and red is really nice, and I think it does a pretty good job of being a Spider-Man suit, but being influenced by stuff like Black Cat and maybe Black Widow. But, yeah, which, considering the Avengers are established to exist in this universe by the devs, and Spider-Man 2 does a few things to make nods towards other superheroes. Although this game does have an Easter egg in the opening cutscene where you see a note with the initials TS, meaning Tony Stark. But yeah. I do like this suit. Resilient suit, I don't like this at all. I think that it just has weird design aesthetics. The blue, like silverish blue is weird. The reflective red is okay. Don't really like the squinty Spider-Man eyes on the mask. Mainly because I think if they were just the regular eyes, it would be a bit better. I think this is an original suit for this game, but I'm not sure. I think it is, though. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than the fact that I don't really care for it. It also kind of has a similar thing to the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, where there's no belt, but at the same time it doesn't necessarily matter because it doesn't look like anything's missing because of how the chest is designed. So, it has that going for it, but yeah, you can see his regular web shooter, so yeah, I think this is an original suit for this game, meant to be canon to this universe. But yeah, and we are starting to get into the DLC suits, by the way, I believe. So, yeah. Spider UK, I don't mind it. The shade of blue is weird. The aesthetic is supposed to match the UK flag. I think it's the Union Jack is what that's called. My problem mainly with is with the front of it, and there's the fact that it doesn't have a spider emblem, and I don't know why. I know it's like that in the comics too. Basically, Spider UK is an alternate universe version of Spider-Man, where he's basically I don't know. I don't think he's Peter Parker, but he's some British dude who got the powers of Spider-Man, who's basically his universe's version of a mix of Spider-Man and Captain Britain. So, or at least the equivalent to Captain Britain, and that's fine. But I don't know why is there no spider emblem on the chest? It looks either unfinished or naked without it. I don't. That's a thing that I think that this game should have done. They take liberties with certain other suits in certain ways, but in regards to, like, I don't know, materials or certain design aesthetic choices or whatever, and they do add some things here and there to some of the suits, but they don't, like, or they tweak some things, but they don't make huge changes to the design overall. I guess just making them sort of look more realistic while also fitting the comic book aesthetic. Why couldn't they add a spider, like, emblem to his chest? This is also Peter. It's not the original Spider UK from the comics. It doesn't make any sense to me in regards to that. It's just really dumb. I believe this character was also introduced in the Spider-Verse event in the comics. So I believe he was more new when this game came out. Like, several years new. Not like, I think that, didn't that event come out in like 2015? This game came out in 2018, so you have that. So yeah, his web shooters look like, I think they're the same as his regular ones, which is whatever. Back spider emblem I actually kind of like, because it's an upside down spider that looks like it's about to, like, slink down and bite someone, which is fine. The gloves I actually kind of like. They have the sort of fingerless glove aesthetic, where it's the same color as his sleeves, but with the red fingers. That looks pretty nice. Kind of Miles Morales in that way, and it probably did take, when they were designing it, they did take a bit of inspiration from Miles for that. And then you have what I'm assuming is some kind of communication device on his left wrist, which is okay. But yeah, this suit also does avoid a pretty crucial mistake I think some other spider suits make, or modern spider suits make, where they segment the belt and everything, like I said with the advanced suit. This doesn't look like anything is necessarily missing in regards to the midsection, because it doesn't look like, well, they just didn't include it at all, so it looks fine, in my opinion. Kind of looks like a Superman from the DCEU, a little bit in regards to that design philosophy. But yeah, I just don't understand why didn't they add a spider emblem? The mask, I don't think the, let me see here for a second. I don't think the, yeah, the eyes don't move at all. Otherwise, the emote thing would be there. I don't understand why that's a thing, why the eyes just don't have, like, movable lenses. That's really weird to me. I think that they could easily add that and that'd be fine. But yeah, moving on from that. Scarlet Spider 2, aka the Kane suit. I like this suit a lot in regards to its design aesthetic. It is mostly red, but it has black on the top, black reflective lenses on the mask, and black fingers, and then black bottoms of the shoes, or the shoe boot parts of it. This honestly looks really nice, and I like the spider emblem on the front and back. It looks nice. This is just a very simplistic design, but very much works overall, and I love it. The only problem, and I've had this ever since it was pointed out to me, I think I watched the video on it, is, why in the hell are the black parts segmented like this with these weird red lines? I hate this part of the Insomniac aesthetic. Sometimes this can work fine, but I don't like when you take a design that had the black part on the top here 100% together outside of the spider emblem on the back and segment it with red lines. This makes it look overly designed for no reason, and it looks like it's just there to be different, and I don't like that whatsoever. I think if we got this in Spider-Man 2 at all, through like DLC or whatever, I think what would be good is if they altered it to make the black on the top not have this red line, or have these red lines that segment everything. It just looks really dumb, and I don't understand it at all. I don't understand what the designers for some of these things at Insomniac think when they design, or when they adapt these things sometimes. Spider Armor Mark 1. I love this so much. This is probably like my second favorite suit after the Last Stand suit in this game. This suit is fantastic. I love it. I first saw it in the 90s series in the last 4-episode parter, where it's the Spider-Verse before the Spider-Verse, or Spider-Man before the Spider-Verse kind of thing, where, Spider-Verse before the Spider-Verse, where, an alternate version of Peter from the 90s series wears this, and this is also from the comics, so they adapted it into there. But, basically, they have that version of Peter be established to be a mix of his universe's version of Spider-Man, but then also Tony Stark. And the cool thing is they basically turn the suit into basically an Iron Man armor style Spider-Man suit, which I think works for it, because it does kind of look Iron Man-y. But outside of that, it's really just fucking good. It's very simple, it's very clean, and I love it. I love it so much. The reflective, silver on it is really cool. There's a reason why, before the remaster for this game came out, the last playthrough I did of the original version of this game, and a New Game Plus save, was this suit. And I wouldn't actually mind doing a replay of this version of the game in this suit at some point. This is just so damn good, and I'd love it if they added this into Spider-Man 2, and I'm very surprised that they haven't. But yeah, it just looks so fucking sick. I love it. And I'm glad that they added it in as a DLC suit. In regards to the aesthetics, it's clearly based off of the classic suit from this game, which I think is fine for the most part. I think the back Spider emblem is different compared to the classic suit in this game. Let me just see 1 second. Yeah, the black Spider emblem is different between the two, which is fine. But I love this so much. The only thing is the eye lenses can appear different under certain lighting. Like here, they look black. Here though, in like darker lighting, they look silver. In the comics, they're supposed to look silver. So I think it's just a thing with how the lighting works or how these things were programmed to be in certain lighting. But yeah, this just has a very good, simple aesthetic that I love, and it's very good. So yeah. The Iron Spider armor from the comics. It's just kind of bland to me. And I know that people are just probably going to say in the comments, oh, fuck you for me saying that. But here's the thing about it. It's just in this game, in regards to the materials and everything, it's just a red jumpsuit with gold armor on it, with some Iron Man things in the palms of his hands and on his feet, on the bottoms of his feet. Which I know is basically a translation of what's in the comics, but it just could be better. In Spider-Man 2, they made the main jumpsuit part of it reflective, I believe, to make it more metal looking, and I think that was a good call to do in regards to the changes that they made, or the very few changes that they made. Yeah. Otherwise, this is okay. In the comics, just like in the MCU, Tony Stark did make this for Peter. In fact, I believe as an Easter egg, they have a hologram of this version of the suit appear within Spider-Man Far From Home as an alternate design that Tony Stark came up with when designing the Iron Spider armor, which is fine. I do like that the two different distinctions, though, are Iron Spider suit and Iron Spider armor. But yeah, maybe I just need... I think didn't this show up in Civil War? So I think I need to read that to see if it does anything for me. But yeah, I'm not saying that this is necessarily bad. I just don't like it as much as other people do. Some people were clamoring for this Iron Spider armor when they saw that the MCU's take on the armor was in the game, and they did add this in DLC, which is good. For the people that do really like this version of the suit and prefer it, I don't know, I just don't really care. Spider Clan, don't like it. The problem with it is that this... I know one of the people at Insomniac that worked on this game, I forget who exactly, but one of the people that worked on this game very much loved that they could include this suit, but the problem... There's a few different problems with this. For one, the suit was in, I think... Was it Edge of Time or Shattered Dimensions? Whichever one it was in. I think it was Edge of Time. I think that was a much better translation of the Spider-Clan suit than this game's version of it. They obviously stretched the proportions of the mangaverse Spider-Man to fit this game's Peter's build and height and everything, mainly the height. And some things I just don't understand about this. The backpack, mainly. In the comic, and they accomplished this in Edge of Time, so I don't understand why this game doesn't have it. The backpack has straps that go over the shoulders and under his arms in the comics and in that game. I genuinely don't understand why they don't appear on this version of this suit. It's so goddamn weird. I just don't understand why that's missing. I just kind of... I don't know. And then there's the fact that it's cel-shaded. Well, I understand the cel-shading part of it. I don't know. This... A mix of the proportions, the missing backpack straps that should be on it, and just the overall look, I just don't like this. I don't like this translation of this suit, and I don't think it's anyone's favorite either, other than the guy who wanted to put it in this game, so that works at Insomniac. So yeah. Aaron Eichmann armor, this is probably the worst armor in the game, and I hate it. Basically, I think it was from one of the comics. I don't like this at all. Unless if this is Spider-Man going to war or fighting a very powerful enemy and it's a one-off suit, or one he wears very occasionally. This suit doesn't make any sense as a Spider-Man suit when it comes to its construction. It doesn't look practical for when he's swinging around and being acrobatic and shit, and you would think that Spider-Man would prioritize those things when making a suit, even if it's supposed to be like an armor. It looks too baggy. I don't like the armor parts of it that much. At the very least, I could deal with what's on the torso and the helmet. The gauntlets are weird on the arms, and the hands are whatever. I could take or leave those. The feet are what kill me, though. The legs and feet are the lower legs, and the feet are what kill me. I don't understand this, like, design at all when it comes to that, because unless if it's like there's like rockets or jet boosters or something in those, I don't understand what the design aesthetic is going for. It kills me. It doesn't look practical. It doesn't look like he's trying to be acrobatic or aerodynamic or anything. The suit looks heavy. It looks like it weighs like 50 pounds or some shit at least. And I just don't like it. This is the one that I have the most problems with in regards to the armors in this game, and it's part of what broke my back in regards to thinking about the armors. At first I didn't like them, or I just didn't care for them. This one, however, got me to actually analyze why I don't like most of the armors in this game. It's just... ugh. I don't like it. It's disgusting. If there is one thing I can say about the helmet, though, the extra, like, things to represent, like, spider eyes are interesting, but they don't look great. I do like that spider emblem, though. That's actually nice on the front there. And I do actually kind of like the coloring. The red and, like, very dark navy blue is pretty good in regards to a color set. But everything else, I don't know. I have gigantic problems with aspects of this suit. It's not that there's a lot of segments, and I don't know if they're from the comics or not, but Jesus Christ. At the very least, though, I understand why they're there. So that the suit can be movable. But, like, Jesus Christ, I just don't like this at all. The lenses are fine, though. I think that the lenses are fine on the helmet. Everything else, I just don't like this. And I know that there's probably some fans of this suit going like, oh, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't give a fuck. Go away. You can enjoy the suit as much as you want, just not here. But yeah. So now we have Cyborg Spider-Man, which I kind of consider like a sort of Metal Gear Solid take on the character. I actually really do like this. It is modified, obviously, from the classic suit. They did use the classic suit as a basis from this. But I actually kind of like this. I believe it is from the comics. So, yeah. But this does look like Spider-Man is fighting in a war. And I actually don't mind that. One thing that kind of confuses me is why, for his left eye there, or the left lens, why is the Spider-Man lens still there when you have, like, an outer, like, camera lens strapped to your mask? Whatever. I don't know, it just seems kind of confusing as a design thing. The metal arm I actually think is really cool. The fact that he only has one is interesting. The stitches on the suit just makes it look like he's been fighting a long-ass battle. The belt, I actually kind of like. It kind of looks like a Batman utility belt. The gauze, I think, on his leg is interesting. I just like this, for the most part, aesthetically. The bandana, or not bandana, the like, strap on his head is interesting. But yeah, I just like this for the most part. I think that the colors are fine as well. So, yeah, just an interesting take on the classic suit. The Into the Spider-Verse suit from Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. I'll be honest, before I saw Into the Spider-Verse, I didn't really care for the suit that much. It just, to me, looked like another version of the classic suit. But I honestly think it's actually pretty good after seeing Into the Spider-Verse, and I do like it. The build is interesting. I think that they just ported this over straight from the movie and adjusted the height. But yeah, and it does have that. It does look like it has that kind of like comic book aesthetic because, well, they're trying to maintain the look from Into the Spider-Verse. Very surprised this didn't make it into Spider-Man 2, considering, you know, Miles is into the Spider-Verse suit, and they Across the Spider-Verse suit, as well as a third into the Spider-Verse suit, is in there. And you have a color swap for his, for one of his suits that looks like a, the sportswear suit to match the color scheme of his version of it, or his suit, or whatever, his thing from Into the Spider-Verse. But yeah. But for the most part, I think that this is actually a pretty good version of the classic suit, and I do like that it is in this game. Just surprised it didn't make it into Spider-Man 2. The web suit, aka the Raimi suit, from Spider-Man 2 and 3. I really do love this suit. I think it is really good. I did a replay of the original version of the game in this after it came out for Christmas 2018. I appreciate that Insomniac put it into the game after a lot of people wanted it in the game, and I honestly love it. I like the I really do love the Tobey Maguire trilogy for the most part. The first Spider-Man movie is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie out of all of them, honestly, out of the 8 that we've gotten so far of the solo Spider-Man movies, at least for the live-action movies and everything. Tobey Maguire, I don't think is the best Spider-Man necessarily, but I don't think he's bad for the role. But I do like this. I like the aesthetic for what it is. I love the raised webbing. I know some people don't like the raised webbing, but it looks good. The lenses I like, for the most part. They don't exactly line up with how they are supposed to look on the suit, but they still look fine. Some people bitch about the raised webbing not exactly matching how it looked in the movies, but it's pretty close, and I don't give a fuck about 100% accuracy as long as it looks mostly there. If we could get 100% accuracy, that's fine. But if it's mostly there and the only differences are negligible, don't give a fuck. So, yeah, I very much appreciate them putting this suit into the game and everything. But yeah, I still like the Spider-Man 3 black suit more than it, just aesthetically, but, and I'll explain my reasons when I get to Spider-Man 2, but this suit is still damn good, and I love it. So, yeah. There's a reason why I did a playthrough of this with the original version of the game, and I plan on doing a similar one in the future at some point. Bombastic Bagman, this is whatever. This and the Future Foundation suit were added in a post-launch patch sometime in, I think, 2019, when Disney had bought all of Fox's bullshit, and Sony were able to get a deal to have these suits in the game, because Fox still owned the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men and everything at the time, and they, for some reason, were having an embargo on the video games, being able to license X-Men and Fantastic Four stuff for them. This affected Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 as well, where they couldn't have any of I think the Fantastic Four or X-Men in that game, because when they started making it, Fox was still a thing separate from Disney, and they were just having an embargo on the video games. It made no sense to me. But yeah, and I'm just glad that they were able to put this in. I think what would have been also a good thing to add in would have been the version of the suit where Spider-Man has, I think, a black mask on with the regular lenses. But yeah, something that's missing from this game's version of the suit is the Kick Me sign that's supposed to be on his back. He has that on because this suit was supposed to be, I think, a joke suit. So yeah, Spider-Man, I think it either damaged or lost his regular suit, so he needed something to replace it, and the Fantastic Four gave him one of their suits and everything, and he didn't have a mask, so he just used a bag over his head and everything. Now, in the comics and some other games that have this suit, they just have the eye holes, but here they added like what looked like marker drawings of the of his lenses over the eye holes, and I think that actually kind of adds to the comedic value of this. I just honestly think that if they added the Kick Me sign as well to his back, that would have been great. Doesn't really matter if it necessarily needed to flow or not. I just would have wanted it to be there. But yeah, I do kind of wish that we had a version without the bag, but it still looks good as a Fantastic Four suit. So yeah, it's kind of how I expect a Fantastic Four suit to look. So yeah. Future Foundation suit. I first saw this in the Spider-Man Edge of Time game, and there was also a version of it, I think, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it was the inverted color version. I'm surprised that they haven't done the inverted color version where it's black on white, or no, white on black instead of black on white, like this. And yeah, I think that this is pretty perfectly adapted from the comics, though. It would just be a quick color swap, I think, for the black and white parts of the suit to have that match. The lenses, though, I don't really care for that much. Dorito God said he has a problem with it because they're silver instead of black like the rest of the suit. I think that would have helped. I think also having them be like flat on the mask rather than being like things sewn onto the mask would have been better, but then also having them be black I think would have gone better with the aesthetic of the suit rather than having them be silver. Don't understand why they're silver, but yeah, I do like this. I'm very surprised it wasn't in Spider-Man 2 though, but considering the Anti-Venom suit kind of looks like this aesthetically, yeah. This is also from a run in the comics where Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four form the Future Foundation, and minus, I think, Human Torch, and they just don new suits that are in this black and white aesthetic, which are very nice. I do like it. But yeah. Next up, the upgraded suit from Far From Home, and I'm not counting No Way Home because this came out when Far From Home was in theaters. Basically, I really do like a lot of the design aesthetics here. It's basically a lot like the Stark suit, but there are some notable differences. For one, the black instead of there being blue. I think that was a nice choice, a nice homage to the Steve Ditko run in the comics, where Spider-Man wore black and red instead of blue and red, like he would later on. But yeah, the fingerless glove aesthetic, where he has the red fingers on the black gloves, it's an influence, I believe, from Miles from the comics, and that's actually really cool. Considering MCU Peter is more like a weird middle ground between Peter and Miles from the comics, does make sense to have that sort of influence. I like the web shooters as well. The web shooters are interesting. They're part of the suit and woven into the suit pretty well on his wrists. So, yeah. And he has a button on the palms of his hands to activate them, which are nice. But yeah, a lot of everything else about the suit is good. I like the spider emblem on the front. That looks nice. The spider emblem on the back is basically the same, just inverted in regards to color. I like that. Everything else about the general Spider-Man aesthetic is kept. The things on his arms are actually nice as well. I don't mind that they're not like the classic suit. The black things on the belt part of his torso are weird. I don't know why. The thing is, they're a holdover from the design of the Stark suit, where you had similar things there. I don't know why they kept them there, and I don't think that they do either, because when it comes to No Way Home, and I don't know why they did this exactly. When they recreate the final scene from Far From Home, where Peter's identity gets revealed at the beginning of the movie, Peter's automatically they don't reuse the footage from that and then just go on from that. They reshoot it, basically. And Peter is automatically in a slightly different variant of this suit, where those black things on his waist aren't there. They're not there. They just removed them when, I think, redesigning the suit, or getting it out of storage or whatever. And while I don't mind that, the fact that there's no in-universe reason for that, and it's a discontinuity between the two films, is just weird. I honestly think if they, I think what they should have done, and they could have easily fixed this with CGI as well, is have the black things still be on his waist for this suit until his Aunt May cleans the suit, because he gets red paint splattered on him, and then he has to wear it inverted or wear it inside out and everything. But when Aunt May, would clean it, I think that would be a nice time to remove those. Whether or not they show her, removing them or not, just showing Peter without them, I think would be nice. Considering he wears the suit for, I think, longer and everything. But, yeah. So we have that. Or maybe they could have added a different scene where those get removed. Something like that. But, yeah. The stealth suit from Far From Home, I don't really care for it that much. It's literally just a suit, or a shield suit, like a shield armor kind of suit, with some Spider-Man aesthetics. The lenses from the Stark suit, his web shooters from the Stark suit. For some reason, he has he has fingerless gloves. No, like I said with the homemade suit from the MCU, you really shouldn't go around and I think even the wrestling suit, you should not have a secret identity as a superhero and not be very protective of it, meaning putting gloves around your fingers so you don't leave fucking fingerprints. It's dumb. I don't like it. The Amazing Suit from Amazing Spider-Man 1. I like that they added it in here. This suit, I believe, was only in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 games. And considering those were the last console 3D Spider-Man games before this one, that was a bit of a shame. Now, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game is, I think, a decent game. It's not the best Spider-Man game ever, but I do like it for the most part. And this, like I said earlier, this game takes, or they took a lot of inspiration from mainly the Beanox games and Spider-Man 2 and some of the better Spider-Man games that Activision made. When looking at things to do for this game in regards to the gameplay, the aesthetics, and a lot of other things, and mainly the story. They just put their own spin on it, improved where they could, and whatever else. But I am very glad that they added this in. This was one of the 3 suits that they added in with the remaster of this game. They also got patched into the PS4 version for people that couldn't get a PS5, and I think that is really good. The funny thing is, and I did see this, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, basically, when they announced the remaster of the game, and then they announced that they would be adding 3 more suits to the game, basically someone joked, I think on Twitter, where basically the original Peter model that they had for his face and hair and everything in this game looked more like Andrew Garfield than the newer face looking more like Tom Holland. And the fact that this suit would be added to the game, and the version of the game where, and I think this was before Insomniac said that they were going to patch it into the PS4 version of the game, they said that, the fact that this game was getting the Amazing Spider-Man suit, but the version of the game that was getting it had the Spider-Man that didn't look like Andrew Garfield. It is just kind of funny, and I do understand saying that. But yeah. But in regards to this suit, in regards to the aesthetics, I have kind of come around on this suit over time. However, this suit has a similar problem that I think Superman's suit in the DCU has, which is the belt. The fact that there is none. This was, I think, the first instance that I remember seeing of Spider-Man suits and some superhero suits where they have belts around their waists, or things that look like belts around their waists that are part of the general aesthetic of most of their suits, most of the variants of their suits, just being redesigned or taken out of the suit entirely for some reason. This one just looks really weird without it in regards to the midsection. It always catches my eye when I'm looking at it. I genuinely don't understand why, when they designed the suit for that movie, that the belt section in the front was taken out, and what they did was thin it on his back and then stop it a little bit after his sides, and then they had a line going down his legs to the boots on the suit. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, just connect the fucking red parts on his on the middle, or on his sides, to the red part on the front. I don't understand this at all for this kind of design philosophy. What the fuck? But, yeah. Then there's, like, something I didn't really notice before until, like, I think this game, which is the gloves. The gloves have a half fingerless aesthetic, half not, where the gloves look like they were blue, and then parts were painted to be red. I actually don't mind that. It's an interesting color flow, and I actually don't hate it. And I think it's pretty nice. The web shooters are interesting. I think that these are the most, like, interestingly designed web shooters in any of the Spider-Man movies, really. The design of them is actually really interesting to me. They have, like, the blue part, and then that, like, yellow circle, then the inner, like, red circle, and the green. It looks pretty interesting. And I like the scene where he's suiting up and he has them for the first time, and it's, like, tightening as he, like, I think sinks them or whatever he does. That's actually really nice. And the fact that they light up as well, that's very visually interesting in lower lighting. But yeah. Not what I intended. But yeah. In regards to the lenses, definitely take a bit of inspiration from the Sam Raimi suit in regards to that. But they look like he cut them out of, or he took them out of the frames of sunglasses and put them on here. I could understand that. I could understand why they did that. They wanted Spider-Man to look more like he could actually make a suit like this instead of, you know, this where it's very Hollywood and everything and you question it. They wanted to make sure people didn't question it as much, but it still looks weird. It still looks more expensive than someone like Peter could feasibly make. But yeah. And then there's the spider symbols on the back and front. They are slightly different compared to, I think, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. And I think both are actually pretty good on the front. I actually don't mind that the outer lower legs meet where the red sinks down onto his torso. I think that's actually really nice in regards to an aesthetic choice and everything. And then the other legs are just like that. They're segmented as well, which I could take or leave, honestly. On the back, I don't understand why they're segmented, but again, I could take or leave that. In regards to the material, yeah, and I've had this opinion as well before people started really talking about it on social media. When I first saw the Amazing Spider-Man 1, it does look like it's made out of, like, that sort of material that you make basketballs out of, or footballs, or whatever. Just that kind of material. And I don't really understand why they went with that aesthetic for the movie, Here, though, I don't necessarily mind it as the thing. It's just kind of a baffling choice as to why make the suit look like that. I don't know. It's so weird in regards to a design aesthetic, which is why I kind of have a mixed opinion of this suit overall. It's not necessarily bad, but it's far from the best Spider-Man suit ever, you know, in the live-action movies. But yeah. Arachnid Rider. Now, this is an homage to Tokusatsu media. Mainly stuff like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Ultraman. Mainly, out of those three, Ultraman and Kamen Rider. The name is definitely a reference to Kamen Rider. And the suit looks like it's just straight up Ultraman. This looks like if Marvel and Tsuburaya Studios were to team up and do a comic where Spider-Man crosses over into one of the Ultraman universes, or if they were to do an adaptation of Spider-Man and then fuse him with an Ultraman. I think that would actually be kind of interesting to have something like that be done. But yeah, and then they have it cel-shaded to look like an anime. I think that this is overall pretty good. If you look at this as an Ultraman suit, or an Ultraman type suit, rather than a Spider-Man suit, I think it does better than it just being a Spider-Man suit. I don't know why they cel-shaded it, but it's not necessarily that bad. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. But I kind of like that. But yeah, that's not actually that bad. Armored Advanced Suit. This actually works more aesthetically better, in my opinion, than the Advanced Suit. Why the fuck is the red... For one, the red's a deeper red than the Advanced Suit. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you make this Armored Advanced Suit more red than the Advanced Suit? Why wouldn't you alter the red on the Advanced Suit to be more red? That is crazy. That is stupid. Oh my god. But anyways, yeah, the White Spider emblem I actually think is better here than it is on the Advanced Suit, because the outer lower leg, how it bends is more along the red of the suit rather than still like jutting out and going down his torso. And I think if they had altered the Advanced Suit to be more like that in regards to the design, it would have been better. The upper spider arms... oh, I didn't even notice that. The upper one... The very uppermost arms connect to the spider arms or the spider emblem on the back, which is actually pretty cool. You have the middle, or the lower upper arms, going around his arms. I think that this flows a lot better than the Advanced Suit in regards to colors, because you have a mix of white, a couple different shades of white, red and black, and I think that this aesthetically looks better. And I actually do like this as an armor, because it sticks to the main principles of what Spider-Man should be in regards to if you design a Spider-Man suit. Aesthetically pleasing, aerodynamic, and acrobatic, you know, like I said earlier. And I think that this accomplishes that very well. It doesn't look like it's too heavy, it doesn't look like it wouldn't be aerodynamic, and it still looks like he can fight in this. So that's honestly really good. It hits all the aesthetic markers that I set for what I prefer to see in a Spider-Man suit. So yeah, I actually really do like this. I didn't really care for it at first when it was announced, but now looking at it, it's pretty good. The red lenses are also interesting. We don't usually get red lenses. They're not even black, they're just red. That stands out, and I like it. How the hands look is actually pretty interesting as well. So, yeah, like it. The hybrid suit, also known as the integrated suit from Spider-Man No Way Home. This suit is actually pretty good. It is a more refined, I think, version of the upgraded suit from Far From Home / the beginning of No Way Home. The red is interesting because it's more orange in this game. But it works aesthetically because you have the golden spider and the black. Let's see. Yeah, and it's not even remotely the same shade of red as the advanced suit. It's more of just a slightly orangey red than a mostly orangey red. But anyways, yeah, and this actually looks pretty good. Shares almost all of the design aesthetics with the upgrade suit from Far From Home. For some reason, some parts of the arms are different. I don't know why. You have the segmented things on black parts. That's really dumb. But I understand that that's just from the movie. I guess they had like a quota to hit on how much stuff. And for some reason, the midsection is different. But I imagine that's from the No Way Home version of the upgraded suit than just this. Surprised that they didn't add the No Way Home variant of the upgraded suit as well at some point. Especially in Spider-Man 2 where they could have had it as a suit style. But, yeah. But I actually do like this in regards to the aesthetics. The colors are fine. And, yeah. Black and gold suit. Don't like it. It's fine for what it's supposed to be. But as far as I can tell, they put this in... they put this in No Way Home, and if I said it's from Far From Home, I meant No Way Home. They put this in No Way Home straight up just to sell toys. There's really no reason for this to be in there. So they added a comic relief moment where Spider-Man gets splatted with green paint. He can't clean it off in time before, I think, Sandman shows up. And so he wears the suit inside out, and thus all the tech parts are shown and everything. Why exactly it has a gold aesthetic, I don't know, but yeah, and so you see a lot more of the tech and everything is in there. You also have the gold gauntlet that Doctor Strange gives him to transport all of the, or teleport the villains that he has to track down to Doctor Strange, or to the basement of the Sanctum Sanctorum. But yeah, for Doctor Strange, but yeah. But yeah, it's okay. It's whatever. I don't really have strong feelings for it one way or another. It's just meh. I didn't really care for it in the movie either, honestly. But yeah. So that's basically it for my thoughts on all of the suits within this game. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Now I'm just going to give a quick list of suits that I want Insomniac to put into Spider-Man 2 if possible. Noir suit, if they could put this variant in it, or in Spider-Man 2, as well as a variant where it's just the sweatshirt and then or the sweater, and then you put the regular leather jacket on him and the top, and the fedora, that would be nice. The Mark II Spider Armor I think would be fine to have in there. Secret War would be nice. Negative suit would be nice to have in. The Fear Itself suit would be great. Big Time suit, you could add several different suit styles to have the green replaced with like the different colors from the comics. That would be nice. Don't care. The Spider Armor Mark IV would be nice to have in. The 2099 white suit would be great to have. Vintage comic book suit would be great as well, especially since in Miles Morales there's the animated suit. I'm surprised that didn't make it in. The Last Stand suit definitely should make a return because, well, Miles has the end suit. It just matches. The Undies suit would be nice to have. Maybe change the shade of red for his mask. Let's see. Dark suit, surprised it didn't make a return. Spider UK suit would be nice to have. Scarlet Spider 2 suit would be nice. Spider Armor Mark 1 would be great to have return. Cyborg Spider-Man would be nice. Into the Spider-Verse Peter suit, I am very surprised didn't make a return in Spider-Man 2, considering that, you know, Miles has like 3 different ones, and then Peter has the Spider-Verse version of Noir. But yeah. The Bombastic Bagman, and then the alternate one from the comics where he has the black mask instead of the bag. That would be great. Future Foundation, you could add this and have the the black and white, as opposed to white and black version from the comics in the game as well. And Arachnid Rider would be nice to see make a comeback, as would the Armored Advanced Suit. So, yeah, don't really have much else to say in regards to that. Just a nearly 2-hour video of me discussing these things. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. So, yeah. So, not really much else to say. So, links in the description to all my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.